first question, Mark Spears.
What's happening, Coach?
Mark, what's up, man?
How you doing, bro? You all right? Happy New Year.
You too.
Just wanted to ask you about Christian, and what you saw in Charlotte that perhaps others didn't see.
I saw a very talented player who could do a bunch of different things, but he was young and inconsistent and had problems kind of cracking the rotation. He was just a young kid who had a lot, but we were really trying to figure out how to use it. So I think spending time in Milwaukee, spending time in Detroit, getting a little older, getting some success under his belt and people getting a chance to see what he could do. And now kind of how the five's position has changed a little bit has helped him. Me coming from Dallas and seeing the way that Kristaps Porzingis caused so many problems with his ability to shoot threes and roll to the rim. That's kind of how C. Wood can be. So right time, right place. When he was in Charlotte, he was just young. He was a young kid, and now he's matured and he's good. he's really good.
How and lastly, how do can you grade how he's fared for you guys so far?
Oh, he's an A right now. I mean, hopefully he can just, he's never been in a position where he's had to do it night after night after night. And he did it last year for 30 some odd games in Detroit. And we're depending on him to be able to do it for the season. So he has a lot to prove. We have a lot to prove as a team, but he's off to a good start.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Stephen, can you give us the update on James Harden and what your plans are right now for Ben and KJ?
Yeah, so James is good to go. He walked through today, and I believe he'll be playing. As far as Ben and KJ, really don't have an update as far as who's going to be active and inactive and that sort of thing. We kind of have to talk to the group and figure out those spots, but they are available. I assume they were with us today, but they are working their way back as far as their conditioning and everything else that you need to be able to play in an NBA game. I'm not sure they're both ready yet.
Michael Shapiro.
Hey, Coach, you guys have been kind of shorthanded in spurts throughout this season. How do you assess kind of the spirit of the group thus far, dealing with such adversity?
It's been good. It's been hard, I mean, every game there's another guy out, and we're trying to move things around and kind of figure it out on the fly, as well as kind of setting the foundation for the year. So when you're trying to set a foundation and then one of your foundational pieces doesn't play or isn't in practice or whatever, it makes it tough. But overall, the spirit's good, because one of the things that I've been preaching and talking a lot about is adaptability, especially in the climate that we're in, with COVID and with all of the other things going on in the world. It really is important for all of us to be adaptable and to take a situation and make the best of it. And that's what we're looking to do.
Jonathan Fagan.
Circumstances kept you guys from having the same people on the court for day to day, practice to practice. Now that almost everyone is healthy, can a team build the kind of chemistry and cohesiveness that it would need just doing it mostly in games, playing a game every other day?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, there's when you have smart guys, when you have talented guys, it's possible. If the learning curve were super steep and we didn't have guys who could adapt to that learning curve, then I would say it might be a problem. But I feel really good about the players that we have and their ability to learn, whether it's a walkthrough or film session or whatever else. But tonight's another night where House is out, and we're going to have to adapt again and figure it out. I don't have a starter yet. I actually just found out a little while ago before I walked in here that he's not going to be playing. So we're adapting like we always do.
What happened with Daniel?
He has a back issue.
Thank you.
Adam Spollen.
Stephen, what did you take away from your 2 years in Dallas?
So much. I mean, there's so many parts to it, right? So there's the Rick Carlisle part, who is a mentor of mine and someone who I just learned so much from, as far as running a team, coaching practices, getting on guys, working with guys individually, bringing guys into his office, but also working with the staff and giving your staff ownership. And he gave me ownership and to work with him and in concert with the offense, and really taught me a lot offensively, X's and O's wise. I mean, there's so many things to Rick that I can't even really put all of them into words. But the one thing that really stood out working for Rick was the person that he is. You know, he's the head of the Coaches Association, so he's working tirelessly for the coaches and for the betterment of the group. And then he is very committed to social injustice or social justice. And we would have meetings with the mayor, meetings with the city manager, all these other events that he involved me in. And that was really special because he didn't have to do that. And he's a Hall of Fame coach, but he's a Hall of Fame person as well, because he really did. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. And he took me under his wing and helped me get to this point. And then that's just like one little slice of the pie of the things that I learned in Dallas. I mean, working with Luka and working with, Jamal Mosley and Sham God and even Don Cockstein, who is the team psychologist. I mean, there's so many parts to that organization. Working with Mark Cuban, so many parts to that organization that I really cherished those 2 years with that group and learned a lot, and it really prepared me. I thought I was prepared prior to going to Dallas to be a head coach, but definitely prepared. Those 2 years prepared me a lot.
Ali Kambajani.
Hey, Stephen, I know we've talked to you about this previously on Saturday regarding John Wall and James Harden playing together and how they balance each other. What is your role in that conversation they're having in terms of who has the ball when, who's off ball when, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, my role is basically play calling and making sure that each guy kind of is in the flow of the game. And there will be times where they kind of figure it out on their own. And there are times where if I feel like it's going one way or the other, I'll try to make sure that there's a play call that helps them both play to their strengths. It's not necessarily who has the ball all the time, but are they playing to their strengths? So that's kind of how I've been doing it. The conversations are continuing and watching more and more film and getting those guys used to what I see, what they see. It's a process, and we're right at the beginning of it.
Thank you.
Eddie Sefko. Eddie.
Eddie.
Okay, we'll move on. Mark Berman.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Okay.
hear you, Eddie.
Hey, Stephen. Sorry if this was asked before. I'm not used to a coach starting his Zoom on time, but I'm just a little curious about now that you're in the so-called big seat. How has it been so far for you? I mean, you've obviously been through a lot of things in a short amount of time with swapping out stars and a lot of other issues. So what's it been like for you?
It's been amazing. I mean, I enjoy every day coming to work. I enjoy the challenges that have been put in front of me. I enjoy being a problem solver. I enjoy working with players. I enjoy working with my staff. Like, there isn't really one part of it that I really just don't like at all. There's obviously challenges, and this has been a challenging time. And what I kind of think about when going through this is it's a challenging time for everybody. You know, whether you're a head coach of the Houston Rockets, or you're working, you know, a 9-to-5 job, or you're behind a desk, or you're owning a restaurant and not able to do it. So, you know, the issues and struggles and other things, challenges that I've had, I really try to put them in perspective and just be a problem solver. But I've enjoyed, I mean, it's a very different job than being an assistant coach. And I loved every day of being an assistant coach. But I'm really enjoying being a head coach and tackling these problems and watching a team come together and win a few games and enjoy it.
Thank you.
We'll take two more. Mark Berman.
Stephen, do you have an idea or a feel for how long Danuel will be out, and how you were handle that as far as your starting lineup goes?
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you on both questions, really. I just found out about the House thing literally as I was walking into this room. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with the lineup, and I don't have a feel for how long it's going to be. Sorry.
Thank you.
And last question, Ben DeBose.
Coach, you've now had 2 games at Toyota Center with fans, albeit at obviously very limited capacity. What has that felt like? I know it's a far cry from sort of the usual NBA environments, but it's a lot more than 0, which is the case at a lot of arenas this season. Just curious if that's something that you guys feed off of now that you're in this stretch with so many home games to start the year.
Yeah, I mean, we feel it. We feel the Rockets fans, and it's, like you said, it's very different than it used to be with a packed house, obviously, but it's so starkly different from a empty arena. I mean, it's hard to play in an empty arena, and it's hard to kind of get yourself up and hear the squeaks and hear the ball and all of that. And when you have people, energy, you know, kind of filling the arena as much as possible, even though it's just a limited amount of people, it helps. It really does help. We feel it, and we're appreciative for the people who come to the games, because it's not an easy thing. You know, it's not, there's obviously places where you're not even allowed to come to games. So we're very appreciative to the people who do come to the games, and we feel it. We feel their energy, and it's good for the guys. You know, they feed off of it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.